question today is how do we get athletes more connected in the workout feedback loop? Uh, there's the context for this is that when we start to get athletes attending to useful metrics about their workout or useful evaluations about their workouts get better. Uh, the challenge sometimes, many times, is that athletes either aren't actually using the feedback they're getting, they're not engaged in general, or they're only using a small fraction of the feedback that they're getting. And it might be leading them to less than beneficial kind of outcomes. So, how do we get them to connect with the feedback loop in a manner that helps sustainable performance improvement? And my first response to this question is work with them. Like, have them teach you how they're using their own feedback systems. Some athletes may have things like, some sort of quantification device like a Garmin watch or a head unit or a Coros or uh, whatever device that they have that's measuring their pace and their heart rate and their whatever their metrics for their sport or performance are. And they're very happy to have that. And they're like, yeah, I got numbers. And that's the extent of their use of their feedback loop. In that case, getting clear that like they're gathering the numbers, but they're not using them will help you uh, build the skills of closing that loop. Because right now it's not really a loop. It's just they do, they count, they're done. So we want to do, count, evaluate in a sustainable manner, and change what they do. So the first step is identifying how they're currently using it. Have the athlete teach you how they're using it. And going through that process is going to uncover opportunities for what's going on. If in that process you uncover that they're only using a fraction of the data, they're kind of hooking on particular data, like the only thing that matters is their functional threshold power or the max weight, their one rep max lift or whatever it may be, then you can start to explore, ask them, guide them to explore previous experiences where using that metric has been beneficial and previous experiences where using that metric has been detrimental to their own progress. That process, exploring and connecting previous experiences, becomes a feedback loop in itself that can unlock a flexibility to using various metrics in that conversation, especially in the conversation where they're starting to identify when using that particular metric has been um, detrimental to their progress. A lot of times there becomes an opportunity to explore alternatives. Let's say, for example, that a client is evaluating their competition performance whether based on whether or not they got on the podium at the end of the competition. In cycling, that might be a 1 in 100 shot of actually getting on the podium, or 3 in 100 shot of getting on the podium. Not a very useful metric. And so when they're going through and being like, oh, yeah, that probably actually didn't help me very much, there may be a moment where they're like, what would help me very much? Right? What would be a beneficial alternative? And then you can explore that with them. You probably have other clients that have more beneficial process measures, and you can work to integrate new metrics that they're already capturing, they're just not attending to, in such a way that the athlete begins to attend to the feedback that is most useful for them in those contexts. This is a iterative process, and it takes a while sometimes to get clients to loosen their grip on certain feedback metrics, but the long-term payoff is the more flexible the client is towards using available feedback, the more likely eventually they're going to be using multiple elements of feedback and integrating it in a much more rapid and beneficial kind of way.
Editing Pat here. Currently getting the full court press for a doggy dinner, so I'll make this quick. First of all, thanks for watching. I hope this video was useful, and I hope this series is useful. I'd like to ask you to share any questions that you have if you're a coach or an athlete, whether you want to post them in the comments or email me directly at patrick@coachpatricksmith.com. That'd be great. If I decide to use one of your questions, I'll make you a deal. I'll give you an hour consultation with me for free. So post your questions, the best ones that I use for videos, their authors will get an hour's consultation with me. Yeah, thank you again, and here's a couple of videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy.